Welcome, guys, to the daily analysis for February 13th. So, yesterday turned out to be more eventful than initially planned. Obviously, the day started off with us in the consolidation range where we have been since Monday. And yeah, I mean, at the open, we saw some gap up and then some selling, but it was part of the routine plan, nothing crazy. And then we saw this 1 hour candle that was an absolute dump. Later, it comes out that a lot of this selling was all across the markets, even the sectors that had recently been away or protected from the AI scare trade got affected. So, transportation, engineering, waste management, almost every single thing, especially logistics, got affected based on a news release by some penny stock that said that that they had increased productivity without increasing overhead, something along those lines. So the AI scare trade finally hit all those sectors that were previously thought protected from it. All right. So obviously, you guys can imagine the panic that came with it. Now, transportation and logistics is not going to make such a big dump on QQQ. So, what really happened in the Mag 7 that made that kind of selling happen? That was Apple. Apple, again, off of no news yesterday, had a 5% drop day. Not a surprise in the current market where we are seeing panic spread across sectors for almost no reason. At the same time, if you look at QQQ on the larger time frames, this rejection from the 9-week moving average is not ideal. All right, we'll have to see if CPI can do anything about it today or show some strength. But on the larger time frame, given the panic that has swept all the market, we are still in a sideways consolidation. I know that's not much consolation looking at the structure, but that's still a fact. All right. So let's go back to the structures for today that are important. First of all, I know a lot of people are saying, okay, Mag 7, that was the last thing holding. Like the indices are up because of Mag 7. Well, even Apple got sold. So the last one left is Nvidia. And now everybody's saying that if Nvidia shits the bed, everything is going to go bust. I agree. But what if Nvidia actually has another pump left in it? What about that scenario? We already have the sentiment in the trash. Every sector has already gone through the AI scare trade. We had software with the capitulation volume last week and has only consolidated ever since. Even yesterday's panic did not make new lows. What if Nvidia, instead of dumping the market with this awful sentiment already, actually switches the sentiment based on its earning? I don't know, but that is a possibility. Just something to keep in mind, because if everybody is bearish and market doesn't never rewards everybody, then well, maybe there's a bounce in store. That's a thought experiment. It's not structure based, but just putting it out there. Let's see the charts for today. We have CPI coming out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Obviously, it's going to have an impact on today's action. Yesterday's action, well, until late into close, we simply retested where we broke out last Friday. All right. Overnight in NASDAQ and ES, we went below the lows and are reversing. Same for ES. And one thing I pointed out yesterday is both in NQ and ES, we consolidated right around the 50% retracement of this entire move that we saw last week. All right. So let me put it out there. You guys can see this area. The 50% retracement is around 850, and right around there is where the entire consolidation yesterday afternoon was happening. All right, 850 area. So could yesterday's dump simply be a 50% retracement into support, trap the bears and go? I don't know, but it is a possibility unless we convincingly break below this area where we are right now, right? So we'll discuss the NQ levels, but until we convincingly break that, it is a possibility that we make a higher low there. So what does that look like on the hourly charts for QQQ today? It makes our job very, very simple. Today, yesterday's lows are at this range from 599.5 to 600. That's critical. All right. So I'm going to draw a box there. That's your major support. Below this, if price holds, we're bearish. We are going all the way to 594 at least. So we go for the gap fill first. All right, so 597, then 594. Those are your levels on the downside below 599.5. Very, very simple. Where is the neutral territory? The neutral territory is this entire area, this consolidation. That's your neutral territory. It can be very choppy in this range. If price can hold above this area, we can see a strong bounce, potentially all the way till here, 616. All right, so how will you play that? From 606 to 599.5, that's your neutral territory. Above 600, you can see a move to 609 followed by 612. All right, and then above 612, obviously 615. Those are your levels to the upside. Below 599.5, you can target 597 and 594. Right, can't make it any simpler than that. So those are your levels for QQQ. Despite all the context, despite all the things, for intraday scalping, this is ideal. Why did I give out the context at the start of the video? Just to make you guys realize that if you are